No. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I need my notes. This is not a
Oh,
good start. Here we
no.
go. Oh, no. Welcome to Training Partners, where we talk about things and we do stuff and we laugh and we yell at you. Wah. Welcome to Training Partners, where two fitness professionals bring you strong takes held loosely. I'm Weezy Shoemaker, and I'm joined by Justin McClintock. And today, we will be bringing you strong takes on why you should stop asking permission.
I love it. I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big subject. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, it's a big subject. It's a big subject. Before we get into it, how are things in your world?
Things are well in my world. I am adjusting to, we are well into New England fall, which is eerily, we
Mhm.
kind of went from summer to early winter. Like it was
Yeah.
32 degrees yesterday morning. I was like, oh,
Mhm.
I see. And I know we're roughly similar latitudes. So you're
Yep.
having trouble with some of this. I've
Yep.
also gotten my slightly unexpectedly, I have an in-person client who I'm training at least 3 times a week and often informs me the night before that they would like to train a little bit earlier than we had originally planned. And I say, "You got it, honey."
I thought that's where that was going.
Yeah, it's actually, I'm being a little disingenuous. It's great. She came. I've been writing. We're talking about my wife. I've been writing Rebecca's programming for at least 5 years, maybe more than
Yeah.
that. To different places and different gyms and different injuries and different goals and all of that
Mhm.
stuff. And she came to me a couple weeks ago after the gym was finished and sort of like very sweetly asked, like, "Do you think you would like train me in person?" I said, "Absolutely. I would like to. I didn't know if that was something you'd be interested in because I
Mhm.
am going to train you. Like I'm going to treat you like a
Like a
client."
client.
Like yeah, you and I had this conversation a long time ago when I
Yeah.
was coaching you. And, like,
Mhm.
I try and come with it. I wanna give you everything. I wanna give you, like, the real client experience
Yeah.
because it's easy. With coaches, there's a temptation to give them less. Like, "Oh, well, you know all
Yeah.
this, so I don't have to tell you. I don't have to point these things out because 'cause I'm sure you
Right.
already know." And people are terrible at seeing themselves and, like, identifying and
Yeah.
analyzing themselves.
Mhm.
Coaches often need it more than anyone else because so
Yes.
frequently they don't have people around them pointing out the stuff that's going on. And same thing with, a loved one, there can be a temptation to take it easy or not say something that might upset them or not
Mhm.
point something out that isn't great. Um, and she is very down for that. I think we have a slightly unique relationship in that. I usually tell people to not train their loved ones. I'm a special case. I've heard over and over from other people that it usually doesn't work for them, but it's fun.
Yeah.
I'm out there, like, I go and I set the gym up at 5:40, get the rower out and turn the space heater on, pull some stuff around, and she walks in and I'm ready to go, and we end 2 minutes ahead of schedule on time because
Mhm.
I'm know that time really matters, and she's like, "Great." Picks up her shoes and walks out of the gym. I either clean up or, go into my own workout, which is also a
Yeah.
nice pattern, like, "Oh, I'm already in the gym." It's easier to stay in the gym even if I'm not
Right.
that excited to work out at 6:30 in the morning. Like, I'm
Right.
up, I'm here, let's rock and roll.
Yeah. That's really cool. That's really neat. I just stopped programming for Ted. Um because he said, "Hey, I actually feel really good about doing this for myself." And I say just, it's been 5 weeks or so.
It's new, yeah.
Um, yeah, and he's in a good rhythm of moving his body, and often Walt actually goes with him. Like, their rhythm is he goes and walks to the bus stop, walks him home, and then they walk out to the shed together and they train.
That's
Great.
very sweet.
I love that. It's cute.
What awesome model too, like, this is what we
Right.
do. We had our work stuff, and now, of course, we do our movement stuff.
Right. And then it's
Yeah.
it's like a really nice transition into home life, right? Like,
Mhm.
we've talked about that some. It's probably worth a full episode, but on the idea of like solid transitions,
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, so
particularly
unless
if you're somebody, yeah, if you're somebody who works from home, if you're somebody who parents, if you're somebody who does a lot of meal prep, if you're somebody who trains at home, like it can be really tempting to just kind of like exist in this mush space
Mhm.
Whereas having a clear, yeah, I know that my office is in my house, and at 4:15 every day, I'm gonna go and pick up my son from the bus, and then I'm gonna go into this other space and train, even if it's at my house. Like,
Having those
the
clear, like, signals, like, "Oh, I'm putting
Mhm,
my work hat on or my movement hat on," or like, "Oh, when I'm
mhm,
in this space, I'm doing this kind of thing, activity, and this is the mode I'm in," and then I can leave
mhm,
that space, and I'm leaving it
mhm.
behind, and I'm doing something else. I do that a lot with the
Right.
laptop and kind of moving around place. Certainly, I'm in my office now, like,
Yeah.
only work happens here. I don't do I don't wanna break your heart. I don't do anything fun here. This is a
That
but
sucks
this is a
because you
professional
hate
environment.
this. How dare
This
you? This just
I
in,
only do
Justin
things
McClintock hates Weezy Shoemaker, and this is a chore.
Yes, I only do things that I'm dragged through. No, I like my job, but I try really hard to make this a place like, when I'm in this space,
Yeah.
I am working and I'm, doing mostly, like, programming, but it might be accounting or marketing or creation or
Right.
auditing or but, like, it's only work stuff.
Right.
I've started doing this with the laptop. I don't do anything fun with the laptop. Like, there's enough
Yeah.
screens in the house and other things that if I want to watch something or play on Instagram or, watch a YouTube thing or something, I do it on a different thing. The laptop is a
Sure.
welcome.
Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. Um, Ted has been remote since before it was cool
Mhm.
or normal. He's been remote almost 11 years at this point.
Yeah.
Um, working for a big insurance company. And um he went through a stage when he first started of like, oh, this is incredible. I can like take a nap after lunch and I can watch TV while I'm working and I can like work at the dining room table or on the couch. It doesn't have to be in my office. I don't have to put on real clothes. I could just be in my pajamas. And then about 6 weeks later, depression occurred. And it became obvious like, oh, yeah, the, like, really fun, I can do anything all the time. We're actually not wired that way, so needed to put a little bit of structure in place.
The structure helps. It makes it feel better.
Yeah.
Like, that I know we've talked before about time blocking. Like, I have tasks that I do every week. I have tasks that I do every day. I have tasks
Yep.
that I do kind of bi-weekly and every month and that kind of stuff. And I do putting on real clothes helps. And this is
Yeah.
especially, I've seen this with lots of coaches and trainers and people like that. Lots of medical professionals can fall into this, like, oh, I just wear scrubs.
Mhm.
Why would I ever change out of scrubs? I can just wear scrubs all the time. Um,
Right.
it's comfy and it's usually socially acceptable. It's also kind of work clothes.
Yeah.
So I have found it very useful. And I try to do the thing, work out in the morning, whatever kind of intentional movement I'm doing, and then I'm going
Mhm.
to put on other clothes. And
Yeah.
sometimes even just like pants, I will often, like, on calls, I usually am wearing some kind of feel strong gear, but I'll
Yeah.
put that on for the call and then take it off and like leave it on my desk and put a regular shirt on and go to work.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yeah, I can't be sweatpants and shorts all year
All the
because
time.
yeah, it just for me, I'm sure there's people it works for, but it can start to slide into, like, being a little mopey, being a little sad, not feeling great about things, like, yeah, come on.
Yeah. Come on. We need maybe a little more structure, including how we present ourselves.
Yeah, and it will feel better.
Yeah. Yeah. Um So today we're talking about stopping asking for permission, and I want to
Yeah,
set the stage for how this came about in the first place.
I'm
So two
interested because
things.
this was relatively recent. You, like, texted me, as you
Mhm.
tend to do, 2 o'clock in the morning on a Friday night when you're out at the club saying, "We need to do this thing and stop asking permission." I was like the next morning, of course, I said, "Oh, I'm totally in. Okay, you got it."
Was it really in the middle of the night? It might have been.
No, I think it was like 8 p. It was not in the middle. I think it was like 8 p.m. or something.
It
It's
was
something. I was
it was the
definitely
middle
awake.
of night for you.
It was before
Um
9:30 because I was awake.
So, two things happened kind of back to back that I said this I imagine happens to a lot of people. And so today's episode I think will be useful for many people, but especially useful for coaches. The first thing that happened was I had a client reach out and ask for my permission to switch a session,
Okay.
which was very peculiar. Like it struck me as, well, you're paying me. Like, yeah. And it just struck me as a little weird. Um, but also, if somebody has been trained to be a rule follower their entire life, like it can feel like, well, my coach wants me to do this on this day. I want to make certain that it's okay to do this on a different day.
Yeah, 100%.
The the other thing that happened is that I am starting to think about what it looks like to recertify for my CEUs, which is a
Mhm.
continuing education unit, to stay a certified personal trainer, which say what you want about all of the governing bodies that issue a CPT, but you do have to re-credential every either year or 2 years or 5 years, depending on what it is. And I am on a 2-year cadence, and that's due December of next year. But I also know, hey, stuff doesn't just happen.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about that now. Right. And let me spell out the experience that I had, and then we'll talk about what maybe somebody else's experience looks like. So I have a list of the credentials, certifications that pique my interest, that I feel fit my niche, that would make me a better coach, um, in some way for the people that I'm already working with.
And for people, just a quick
And
time out, for people who don't have any idea what we're talking about, this is pretty common in a lot of professional certifications, a different license. This isn't a license, but licenses also come with this often. Is every so
mhm,
number of years, you basically have to accumulate an amount of approved continuing education, basically. So, like,
yeah,
this course might be worth zero point 0.3 points, or this weekend seminar might be worth zero point 0.5 points, or this longer course might be worth, and most you have to build up a certain number of points over a certain amount of time. You
mhm.
3.0 points of continuing education CEUs, continuing education units, over 2 years or so, to prove that you're actively developing, you're staying up on your stuff, you're not just languishing and continuing to call yourself whatever the certification is.
Thank you for that call out. That's important. We don't need to make an assumption that everybody who listens knows what everything is. Um, and so as I'm considering, like, okay, what do I want to do? I settled on one. I'm going to sign up for Annie Miller's Pure Programming, which is
Oh,
designed
really?
to help people, yeah, program better for a long duration of time. Right? Like,
I think you just got in on it, right? Because she's wrapping that up.
that's correct. I'm signing up today. It's like on my list to do today because I know she's about to wrap it. Um, and it's about $1,500. So it's not the most expensive on the market. It's also certainly not the cheapest, right? Like I could get something straight from NASM for like $100 and check the box and it'd be garbage, and but it would fulfill
Watch
my
10
CEUs
videos
for the
on
year.
mute. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Um and I went to, like, just casually, like, hey, I've already decided I'm going to do this. And I brought it up in passing to Ted. Hey, I know it's not the greatest time to spend this money with everything that we just spent out of the business's money on the gym. But this is due a year from now. I'm going to need to spend some amount of money on it. Why not just do it now? Um, and his reaction was like, cool. What are you excited about it? Like, what's got your interest peaked? And that sent me down a spiral of like, how many people do I know, either personally or just through like passively observing people's behaviors on social media, that would not have that experience, right? To be clear, I wasn't asking,
Right.
right? I went to him, and there was no like, well, hang on, do you really think that it's like the greatest time to do that? I thought that you already had mastered programming. That's certainly not a thing that you need to invest more time and money into. Um, there was none of that. And so
Yeah.
this got me thinking about what else might be at play in asking for permission or people inserting permission into somewhere where it's maybe not needed,
Yeah.
right?
That's a great framing. And I've had a lot of this with, especially it used to come up all the time in sales stuff. When I used to kind of
Mhm.
part-time for sales at a company we both work with. And, one of like the classic money objections is I need to talk to my spouse or partner, which by the way is like
Right.
100% legitimate. And sometimes I would ask, and again, this has to be framed in we went out of our way to be super ethical dealing with people. I refused to sell the thing to a number of people because I thought they weren't a good fit. That may also have contributed to me being fired, but I would not sell the thing if I thought that it wasn't really going to be successful. And I would
Mhm.
ask, like, if I had someone who was a great fit, like, this is a shoe in, you're going to kill this. This is going to make your life and your business better. This is such an obvious win for you. Oh, I need to talk to someone. Oh, okay. Are you going to inform them or are you asking permission? And occasionally that would like rock someone. Someone would be like, well,
Yeah.
I don't need to ask permission. I was like, I'm not trying to start a fight. I'm on board with you going to talk to who you need to talk to. I'm just curious because this seems like such an obvious win for you.
Right.
Like, and I don't know, households are weird. People have different dynamics,
Right.
whatever. If you're just informing them, then why don't we get you started? I can have you meet with your mentor this afternoon. But if permission's a thing, then we'll push it on down the line. And
Right.
sometimes it would be, no, I have to ask permission because this is the way things work. And sometimes it would
Yeah.
be, yeah, you're right. I don't need to ask permission. Let's do this. And those people usually were the ones who did really well.
Yeah. I'm laughing because this is, exactly a conversation that you and I had.
Oh
Um,
yeah. That's right. Yeah, I sold it to you.
and that's right. You sold it to me, and I specifically remember this, like, yeah, I need to talk to Ted about this, and that question coming up and be like, "Well, yeah, I don't need his, like, blessing, and also, if we're gonna spend more than $1,000, we always have a conversation about it prior."
Yeah, that's just a rule.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's just like a, "This is gonna happen. Spend money if you need to, and beyond this threshold, we gotta chat."
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have a very similar thing. I'm actually going to a thing
Mhm.
in a little while, and I'm just like, "Hey, I'm gonna go to this thing. You see any reason that's a bad idea? No, do whatever you want. What do I
Yeah,
care?"
do whatever you want. Yeah. So, I wanted to think about, and I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on this, why people ask for permission. Or wait for permission rather, like, wait to
Mhm.
be approached for something rather than going after something that they actually want, because the waiting for permission feels really safe, right? What is taking on something new gonna cost me? It
Mhm.
might cost me a relationship, it might cost me approval, it might cost me money, it might cost me certainty, it might cost me my identity. Right? It can feel really scary to make a decision without somebody being like, "Hey, this is the right choice. You should go right instead of left." Yeah. So, a quote that I found that I thought was really resonant for this topic is from Thomas Jefferson, which, say what you want about him. "Do you want to know who you are? Don't ask. Act. Action will delineate and define you."
I agree
We
with that. I
need
mean, that's the
Yeah,
old, watch what they do, not what they say, right?
right. That's right. And so the thought that I'm thinking about as I'm thinking about the person who is kind of constantly on this hamster wheel of either waiting for somebody to permit them to do something or wanting to ask and not feeling willing is to start asking yourself, who do I want to be? What does that person do? And what is one step I can take in the direction of being that person, regardless of somebody else's belief about it?
Yeah, I like that.
Because there's always, I mean, we could apply this to quite literally any industry, but I'm thinking particularly of coaches. particularly if you're a coach who wants to take a next step or another venture, you want to change the way in which you're doing
Yeah.
something. You've probably sat around the table with somebody who has talked shit about somebody else who is doing the thing that you want to do. Like you've
100%.
probably experienced that. And you want to do something, but you want somebody else's opinion and validation before you do it,
Yeah,
right?
and there's so much that goes into that, and it's of course going to vary by situation. But are people just lacking confidence? Is it? I mean,
Yeah,
a lot of it is sort of risk aversion to a degree, right?
sure.
It's easier to stay still. It's not necessarily better. It's not necessarily safer, but it's
Right,
certainly easier to just maintain most of the time. But
right.
if you're not satisfied and unhappy, especially if you kind of zeroed in on one or a few things that you'd like to work on. Like we have this
Yeah,
conversation with clients all the time. I want to make this
yeah,
change. I have this goal. I want to be able to do this thing. I wish I could feel this way. By the time they get to one of us, this has been eating at them for a little while. Like they're
right.
thinking it's starting to like infest their thoughts. They're seeing it sometimes in negative ways to get
Mhm.
to the point where you want to take that action, like overcome the inertia, overcome that resistance, and then to say, and whether or not it's true, because sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't, that you need someone else's validation or okay to do that. That's an
Right,
easy out. Right? Oh,
right,
well, I can't because X, Y, and Z is happening, and I just can't.
right.
It's
Yeah,
impossible. Well, it's impossible to do something scary and risky and bet on myself or make a big change or do something that I'm afraid other people will think not a lot of. Or I mean, this is so many people who go into coaching like have this kind of
mhm.
imposter syndrome of I'm good and
Oh,
I know I'm
yeah,
good, but I don't want to tell anyone that I'm a trainer because their next question is, do you have a real job?
right. What do you do for money?
Mhm. Yeah. Yep. I paid the
How many
bills
times did right. How many times did you get asked that, when you were coaching CrossFit mostly? "So, what do you do?"
all the time, all the
This.
time. And I would say this, that pays the bills and some. Yeah. I understand
Yeah.
you don't know all the and you don't know all the things I'm doing. You just see me like
Right.
playing some loud music and making sure people don't kill themselves and all that. Like it's a fair question, but yeah, I'm good.
Right. Right. I'm okay. You have certainly maybe taken, like, a little chink out of the armor, but, we're here. That doesn't affect what I'm making.
Yeah, exactly.
So, per usual, I started on a I'm not gonna do any research, and then very predictably started doing some research,
Immediately
which
started
I,
doing
like,
research.
immediately was like, I think I'm just gonna, like, freeball this one," and then immediately started Googling. Um, from Seth Godin's book, The Icarus Deception, I'd like to read you a passage. In Japanese, Tariki is the name for choosing to be helped, seeking a higher authority to select you, move you forward, and endorse you. Tariki is the helpless kitten. Jiriki, alternatively, is self selection, self authorized art. Our cultural instinct is to wait to be picked, to seek out permission, authority, and safety that comes from a publisher or a show host or even a blogger who says, I pick you. Once you reject that impulse and realize that no one is going to select you, then you can actually get to work,
Yeah. I think
right?
it's really well
If
said.
Yeah, it and, it's from the background of somebody, like, looking to be cast or having work selected, but I think
Mhm.
it's kind of applicable broadly, right? If you have a skill set or something that you want to do or pursue or do differently, don't wait for somebody to, like, tap you on the shoulder and be like, "Hey, you're really good at X. Have you considered taking that to another level?" Just go and fucking do it. You will skip so many speed bumps by not waiting for permission to do the thing that you would like to do. Like just go
Yep.
and do it. It's probably going to be shitty up front. We've talked about this at length, we need some reps to get good at anything. Insert anything. You need some reps. Just go ahead and get started.
Yeah. That's this overcoming that the leap is the scariest part. And
Yeah.
I think deciding to take the leap is right up there with second scariest. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to do this thing. But it's the, while you were talking, it made me think of like the person posing at a New York cafe, hoping that a
Hmm.
casting director just comes up and says, "Oh my goodness, you're
Right.
perfect. We're shooting a movie down the street. I've just fired the lead. Please come on."
Please
And
come.
within 250 yards of that person sitting at the cafe, there are dozens and dozens of actors rehearsing and improvising and trying things and writing scripts and performing to fewer people than are in the cast at a terrible little black box, but they're getting better and better and better and better and building their network and
Hmm.
accumulating all of the things that lead to success.
That's right. Right. There's no such thing as an overnight sensation. There's
No.
a decade of gritty hard work behind the scenes, and then there's the moment at which everybody became aware of it.
Yeah. Suddenly, oh, you're just so good. You're just amazing. Like, yeah, yeah, that took a long
Yeah,
time.
I know that's 10,000 hours. Thank you.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I wanted to give a few examples of things or accomplishments that would not have happened if people waited for permission rather than just deciding to do the fucking thing. We would have no art by Banksy, not a single piece. We still actually don't know who Banksy is. Who is Banksy?
Yeah.
Don't know. If you're listening to this and are like, I don't know who Banksy is, street artist in the UK and sometimes other places, exceptional, wonderful artwork. And I'm pretty sure that in most places that's at least a misdemeanor.
Oh yeah, it is against the law and then immediately treasured. Like a lot of
Right.
times now the move is because it's I think all Banksy stuff is spray paint based. They might do some stuff that aren't exactly that, but it's kind of normal now for like, oh, a stop sign gets turned into a Banksy piece and someone has to rush there with a plexiglass box and put it around it
Right.
because people are going to try and steal it or upgrade it or do other things to this
Right.
artwork. But it's illegal, but then immediately recognized as, well, this is better than the misdemeanor. This is lovely art, and people are excited that
Right.
it's happening in their neighborhood.
Right. That's right. Super relevant because we just had the New York City Marathon, which, when you listen to this, that will be almost 8 weeks ago. But Bobby Gibb in 1966 and Catherine Switzer ran the Boston Marathon in 1966 and 67, respectively. What's
Mhm.
relevant about that is that at that point, women could not sign up or run, and it was just generally believed that a woman couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Like
They couldn't,
they didn't
I mean,
have the
because it was so
constitution.
dangerous. Like,
Right, of course.
one of the
This
reasons
will
they did
kill
it.
you and
Yeah.
your frail, weak body, right? So Bobby Gibb
Well,
ran it in
uteri,
66.
uteruses
Will
just fall out.
fall out. Right,
Yeah.
they just fall out. Yeah, you'll get a dozen steps in and your uterus will fall out of your body. Bobby Gibb ran it in 66, did not register, just like quite literally jumped in. And then Catherine Switzer registered under KV Switzer in
Mhm.
67 and was famously like, let's call it assault on the course and
Yeah.
tried to be forcibly removed and didn't let it happen. Didn't wait for permission to be like, hey, you're a pretty good runner. Have you considered being the first woman to run a marathon?
Yeah. And did it in a way that wasn't like everything we've described so far is against the rules. Now, they aren't good rules. They were really dumb. Did anything hurt anybody? Absolutely not. Did it maybe
No.
show people that their standards were completely out of whack? Yeah. But that's like the picture of Catherine Switzer running the marathon with these dudes trying to forcibly drag her out of the street. There's a very famous
Uh huh.
picture that was taken. You can search it right now on your whatever device you're listening on this probably. It's amazing. And I think like that's an incredible image. But I think
Uh
about her like the night before. Like, do
Yeah.
like the night before a marathon sucks enough. Like, you're like, have I eaten
Right.
enough? How am I feeling? Why does my knee feel like this? Why didn't I buy
Right.
new shoes 4 weeks ago? Okay, I'm laying all my stuff out. And she's like, well, I'm gonna do all this. and then hopefully also try and not get killed. But I think
Right.
it's important to do this, so away we go.
Right. I also think it's important to consider, like, I wonder who she told, if anybody, like, "I'm gonna be doing this." Um, and if she didn't, that certainly, I mean, that's a conscious decision to not let anybody in on a plan that they might try to poo-poo. Um, but wondering if she had anybody in her corner who was like, "No, go fucking do it."
Or trying to talk
Like,
her out of it. Like,
right.
is it really? Just go run. You don't have to run
This
this
is
marathon. Go run
no,
26 miles
just
somewhere else. And it'll
right,
be and
anywhere
prove you can
else.
do it there. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. People will believe you. They won't need to have actual proof of it. Jeanette Rankin was the first woman to hold federal office as a congresswoman in 1916 and famously said the individual woman is required 1,000 times a day to choose either to accept her appointed role and thereby rescue her good disposition out of the wreckage of her self respect, or else follow an independent line of behavior and rescue her self respect out of the wreckage of her good disposition. You can either
What will
stay
people
in
think?
line, right? You can either stay in line and be a good girl, or you can step out of line and reclaim your self respect. What would you like?
Yeah. And these are like now I obvious hopefully anyone listening to this, it's obvious that these old perspectives were crazy and wrong. It wasn't that long ago. Like
No.
if you're listening to this, your grandparents were alive while this was happening. This
Yeah.
wasn't like it just wasn't that long ago.
Right.
And these are sort of monumental epic examples to a degree in the same way of like no, you deciding to that you're going to start playing rugby at 34 years old is that's a fine choice. That's not
Right.
but you
Yeah.
we're probably not going to write you about you in the history books and it's probably okay.
Right. Yeah. Um this reminds me of my, we can call it recent descent into pickleball madness.
Sure. Yep.
Um I was a cheerleader. I did not play sports. I had never done anything like that before, and if I had reached out to, like, a core circle of people and said, "I'm thinking about playing pickleball. What do you think?" and actually listened to them, I probably wouldn't be playing. Like, what a tiny example, but there are so many people who are kind of constantly doing this all the time and depriving themselves of doing something that would better their life in some way because there is somebody in their circle that would maybe poo-poo it.
Yeah.
Like,
And this can be
just
like as micro as eating the healthy breakfast. Like,
yeah,
oh, well, the office got breakfast sandwiches. And you go, oh, I was going to have my granola and protein powder because that's really what my plan was. But I don't want to be the weirdo. Everyone's doing this. I
yeah,
guess I should just do what everyone else is doing because, but if the boss was eating granola and protein powder, it would probably be okay. And then you could do it.
right, 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 right. That's a great example. So this is a longer example, but I think it's hilarious and worth it and puts a nice bow on this topic. Sam the Banana Man. Imagine it's 1895. You are a young Russian immigrant named Samuel Zemurray, and you just showed up in Mobile, Alabama. Unfortunately, you are already in violation of one of the South's many unwritten rules, which is only one prominent Jew per town. Disgruntled, you hop on the nearest train to find a new place to make your start. What do you find? A train car filled with soon to be rotten bananas bound for the north. At this point, you can do two things. You can ride the train like a hobo, or you can buy the bananas at an enormous discount and hustle them for a profit until you're the richest man in New Orleans and you own United Fruit, the biggest fruit company in the world.
That's how United Fruit started.
As an outsider, Zamuri was able to see the opportunities that other people missed. These bananas weren't actually rotten, they just wouldn't make it all the way north. If you bought and sold them locally right there, they'd be perfectly delicious, so that's what he did. He applied the same philosophy later on as his banana empire grew. When he was told he couldn't build a bridge he needed across the Utility River because the government had been bribed by his competitors to make that illegal. So Murray had his engineers build two long piers that reached out far into the center of the river instead. And in between them, he created a temporary pontoon that could be assembled and deployed to connect the piers in a matter of hours.
Yeah.
Railroads ran down each side of the river going in opposite directions. When United Fruit complained, Zamuri laughed and replied, "Why, that's not a bridge. It's just a couple of little old wharfs."
Huh.
So, the reply to that is if someone tells you you can't build a bridge, don't look at it as an inconvenience. Look at it as an opportunity to reinvent bridges.
That's a great
So, my
story.
question, it's a great story. It made me smile, and I'm sure that like please don't ruin Samuel Zamuri for us. Let him just be Sam the Banana Man, who is a wonderful story and untainted. But my question to people listening is where is a place that you are waiting to be noticed or picked that you could or should pivot or vacate right now without anybody needing to sign off on it? Like, where is that
Yeah.
place? Right. And so then circling back to the questions from the beginning, who do I want to be? What does that person do? What is one step I can take in that direction? Right?
Yeah.
Where's the bridge that you can reinvent? Go do that.
And reframing that, we talk about this a lot with setbacks and quote unquote failures, but especially if you have zeroed in on something that if you think you know what the move is, right? It's harder if you're saying, I don't know, I just don't feel great. And we can work with that. It's usually a series of
Yeah.
questions and kind of
Hmm.
pulling out the strands of what contributes to this feeling and then highlighting kind of the low hanging fruit and going after that. But
Yeah.
especially if you're someone who's sitting there saying, yeah, I need a different job, or I want to start playing this sport, or I want to change my diet in this way, or I think I want to,
Hmm.
radically change my goals. This happens all the time, especially with people who've been training for a long time and like
Yep.
have their identity tied to a thing or a modality. Well, I'm a weightlifter, I'm a runner, I'm a CrossFitter, I'm a bodybuilder, I'm this, but I'm really being pulled to do this and
Hmm.
feel like they need this permission for it. If you reframe it as, oh, this is actually a huge opportunity. Everyone else doesn't see that. That's okay. I know this is an opportunity. Therefore, what am I going to do to take advantage of this opportunity that other people aren't even seeing right now?
Right.
Suddenly it becomes a tactical game of, oh, well, of course I would take these steps because why wouldn't I take advantage of this opportunity as opposed to something scary that is behind a wall that of needing permission that may not even exist.
Well, right. I mean, this is quite literally what we opened with. Waiting for that permission feels safe because taking on something new will cost you something. It might cost you money. It might cost you a relationship. It might cost you your actual identity or your perceived identity. It might cost you approval. It might cost you certainty in some way, right? It's likely to cost you something. And if you are waiting behind the paywall of wanting somebody else to sign off on it first, you're unlikely to ever do it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's I hope we're not intending to be flippant about this. Like
Sure.
both of us have gone through this personally a number of times and helped other
Yep.
people go through it a whole bunch of times. And
Yep.
it's usually somewhere between a bit of work and fucking terrifying. The
Yeah.
more it's toward the fucking terrifying line, usually the bigger the opportunity is.
Right.
And I'm sort of hyper aware that I'm talking to someone who is making an extremely good living in a building somebody else was paying for less than a week ago
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
and is
I
now
mean,
paying for a building and plumbing and all kinds of other stuff.
right. That's, I mean, when I think about what even led me to this place, it's this exact point of no, I actually don't need somebody else's approval. I know that this is the right step, even if on paper initially it looks insane.
Yeah,
So,
I know it's the right
yeah.
move. Okay.
And it's scary. Okay,
Yeah. And
cool. Yeah.
yeah.
And
Uh-huh. Yeah.
sure.
And by the way, it's
Anything
going to be
else?
hard. And it's going to keep being
Right.
hard, but it's the right move. So now we're just wasting time. Now we're just
Right. Right.
waiting for that magical perfect moment where the stars align. That isn't actually going to happen because you'll always find a reason why I'm too tired or money's too tight or this kind of thing. On a smaller note, this is I had this conversation with someone the other day about upcoming holidays. They were like, I
Mm,
make them or their friend. It wasn't working with me. This wasn't like a sales pitch, but basically they were saying, I want to start taking fitness a little more seriously and dial my nutrition in. But we just got through Halloween and Thanksgiving's coming and the holidays are coming. It's gonna be nuts. And I was like, so you're gonna wait 10 weeks to start trying to build a habit that you think you need? Like what are we doing in the next 10
what was
weeks?
what was the answer? I gotta know.
It was a little bit of a come to Jesus. They were like, but it's yeah,
Oh.
okay. And I sort of explained, for me at least, like building these habits and taking these opportunities when it's
Mhm.
not easy, when it's kind of a hard time, is actually kind
Mhm.
of the best time to do it. Because if you can
Yeah.
do it then, if you can start building a habit when like schedule's a little weird and money's a little weird and social obligations are have more pull than they usually do,
Yep.
if you can get through that, not perfectly, 80%. If you can get through that, like clicking 80% of your boxes, when it's quote unquote easy, it's going to be
Mhm.
amazing. And by the way,
Right.
something's going to happen in January to make it not easy. So who are we
Right.
kidding? My suggestion would be get to work as soon as possible.
Right. That's exactly right. And I don't know if this is true for you, but I know when I have a lot of things on my to-do list and on my schedule, I am infinitely more productive than I am on the one day that I have one thing.
Yeah.
And I
That
end
gets
up like
pushed off. Like it's 4:15. I still haven't opened this email.
this
Okay.
one thing. I have one task on my to-do list and it's going to take me 9 hours to do it.
I'm going to write two more parody songs and then I'm going to check that email that I'm
I've
singing
texted
to my
you
dog.
I've texted you on several occasions of like, look at this incredible thing I procrastinated with.
Yeah. Look what I did. Isn't this
Look
amazing? You're
what
like,
I did.
oh, that's an amazing project I haven't heard about. What are you avoiding? Hey, it happens to be time sensitive and important. Thank you very much.
But I don't feel like it.
Yeah, I'm not there yet. I'm kind of winding my way toward it.
Anything else we should say about stop asking for permission rather than just stop it, quit it?
I think that stop it. Like, and if this may involve having some tough conversations, and that's part of it, and that's okay. Like, it's okay to
Mhm.
have challenging conversations, and it isn't necessarily with, like, a loved one or a partner, though it may be. It might be with a coach. It might be with someone that you've hired. You're like, "Wait a minute, why am I asking" or the coach, hopefully, like you said at the beginning, will turn around and say, "Why are you asking me permission to make a schedule change? Why wouldn't you just inform me?" Or maybe
Right.
we'll negotiate. But, asking permission to do this doesn't make a lot of sense. Like,
Right.
getting yourself out of that habit and maybe, like, language-wise, in the same way we often catch people apologizing, if you can
Mhm.
catch the times when you're asking permission for things that you definitely don't require, need, or even want permission for, that's a
Yep.
really good way to start building the habit of doing it in bigger ways.
Right. Cuz just like anything else, we probably need some practice at this. You're not going to be if you're somebody who asks for permission a lot, um this is not going to be a cold turkey thing
It won't.
and it's likely going to be some stair steps on the way to just being a confident, able to advocate for yourself and take steps in the direction that you'd like to go person.
Yeah, 100%.
Sick.
That was good. I like that.
I thank you. Yeah, it felt resonant. A lot of times I know this is true for me. I think it's true for you too. We have things that happen in real time that we're like, I was going to talk about this, but instead, going to talk
Yeah,
about this other thing that I'm more interested in now.
all the time. And so often those are more they're more resonant and more fun, and it also is I've never had it on this podcast, and I hope we never do, but I've had it doing other things for my business where I start talking about a subject that I, like, planned. I was like, "Oh, this," 3 weeks ago, I planned that this was going to be the thing I talk about. And I get 8 minutes in, and there's recordings of me being like, the fuck am I talking about? I don't, I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know where I'm going. I obviously don't care about this. I don't believe myself. I'm not doing this anymore. And I'll shut it down and throw it away. I actually give that,
Sure.
that advice to people, especially like people who work online and need to do some amount of social media and are
Mhm.
have a hard time recording themselves. It's like,
Mhm.
honestly, if maybe 2 takes, if after the second take you're still not there, I would move on and do something else. Because it's not that
Yeah.
it's imperfect, it's that you probably don't believe in it or care enough about it, or you're trying to be someone else and it isn't really authentic. Throw
Yeah.
it out. I don't care how much
Right.
planning went in. I do it all the time. Like, no, I thought I was gonna talk about this. I don't appear to care. Maybe I just took bad notes. Maybe my thinking has changed about things, but, no,
Mhm.
we're moving on.
We're moving on. We're moving on. Speaking of moving on, should we do a segment?
Let's do a segment. This was actually on that subject of sort of inspiration. This I had another segment planned out that I'm sure we'll do on a different episode. But just the other day, I was thinking about this idea. So I devised this segment, which I'm calling "Everyone Knows That," and this is more of a get to know Wheezy game than like a quiz or a challenge. So everyone has things that they haven't experienced that everyone else knows or has experienced. Like it might be something in the
Mm.
cultural zeitgeist or something that people think of as really standard. And you're like, oh, actually, I've never done that, or I don't know that, or I haven't seen that, or
Oh,
whatever it is. So I have like 6 or 8 categories here that I'm going to ask you and try and ask you to share what makes you kind of the outlier if we can.
sure.
Great. Question number one. Which of the following sex acts have you never participated in? We're not doing that. Um, I did write that down though. I wrote that down and then
Hilarious.
it sort of says joke, joke, joke in case I was like not paying attention and just reading something. By the way, this isn't a serious one. This is like if someone found I died writing this and Rebecca found my note page. Like, this is a joke. I wouldn't actually do this to a person.
This just in, Justin
Um,
McClintock, not a predator. Not a predator.
not a predator. Starting with film. What is a movie that everyone has seen that you've never watched?
I've never seen Braveheart.
Oh, in my heart. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, Braveheart's like important to me. Very well. It's a good one. It's a really solid start. Food, maybe harder. And I have a follow up if there's nothing here. What's a common food that you've never tried?
What is a common food that I've never tried?
Or like something everyone has had, everyone talks about, and you're like, "Oh, I don't know anything about that."
Hmm. Oh, that's a good one. Um, I'm a very picky eater, so there's probably a lot of things in this
Mhm.
category. Um, the biggest that comes to mind though is that I have only had one fast food hamburger in my life.
Wow, great one.
One. And it was a part of, like, people found out that I'd never had one, that I only ever got chicken nuggets if we were
Oh,
eating out,
sure.
and they were like, "We have to go, you'll love it," and, like,
Oh my
force
god.
fed me, like, the Baconator or something, and it was disgusting. I was like, "Okay, great. I don't need to
Please
ever
tell
do
me
that
these were
again."
16-year-olds.
Yeah, I was in college,
Okay,
and
yeah.
so it was like it was like a team building activity for a volunteer committee that I was on. And they were like, "We're gonna go have Weezy's first burger. She's gonna love it." I was like, "Have you met me? I don't like new
I
stuff."
bet I'm not. This attention isn't working for me, so I don't know how you think this activity is gonna go.
Right.
Literature. Like, one of those books that everyone's read that you just
Oh, um, mm, I have not read the Throne of Glass series, which
Oh, sure.
people roughly my age and interested in spooky, romanticy, female-led stuff are usually
Yeah.
surprised to hear.
Yeah, I think that's very common in that lane. Good
Yeah.
one. Exercise. Harder. Is there a movement or modality that is super common that you've never done?
I've never done reformer Pilates or like Legree or anything like that.
Oh, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
really, really, really don't enjoy ISO work. Um,
Mhm.
and so it is just a place that like, why would I pay money to do only the thing that I hate for an hour?
Yeah.
Like I'll do my ISOs if they're sprinkles in my program, but like good God, who on earth like not somebody, not I.
Yeah. Is there a I left this vague. I call this activities. Is there
Mm,
a activity that everyone likes to do except you?
activity. Mm. I don't like walking on the beach.
Ooh, beautiful one.
Um, and for me, it's a like texture thing. Like I
Yeah.
really, really hate, or maybe here's a asterisk to that. I do enjoy like walking on the beach. I would never walk into the water and then out and into sand with wet feet. I think I'd rather like drop dead. Like it's just I remember being the kid when we would like go to the lake that I would obsess over wiping all the sand off my
Yeah.
feet because I hate the way it feels.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. Yeah. I
Yeah.
find what you just described sounds incredibly pleasant to me.
Ugh. Yeah. I also can't stand like walking barefoot in wet grass. Like
Oh, okay.
could never be me.
Just purely the texture.
Yeah, I like
Mhm.
quite literally cringe. It feels so terrible.
Television. What amazing TV show have you never seen?
Oh boy. Um I haven't seen The Sopranos.
Ooh, great one.
Yeah.
Is it just haven't gotten to it or no thanks?
I mean, it was a really big deal when I was too young for it.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
Um, and just haven't like we did recently watch 6 Feet Under, which was another
Okay.
like award-winning show that was a little too young for at the time, and Ted and I decided like, "Hey, this is gonna be the thing that we watch because everything that's on right now is
Mhm.
kind of trash." Um And so I imagine that at some point we'll get to it because I have a lot of life left to live. It's not a I'm actively avoiding it. It doesn't sound interesting.
Mhm.
Um I also think though that coming from a very Italian family with roots in New York, I have to be in a very particular mind space to be okay with that.
You're gonna recognize people. I mean, not
Yeah,
exact people, but you're gonna be like, "Oh,
right.
yeah, that guy. I know that
Oh
guy."
yeah. Yeah. Oh
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Okay. Yep, yep, that's what he's like, actually. "Oh, why don't I feel
Right.
good?" Oh, because,
Oh,
traumatic things are happening to
ooh,
recognizable people all the time.
right.
Last one, music. I'm looking for an artist or maybe a song that everyone knows and you think maybe you've never even heard.
What? Everyone knows. Um, mm, I think if Stairway to Heaven came on the radio right now, I would not be able to pick it out.
That's an amazing sentence. Yeah, that counts. Yeah, yeah. That was it. Well done. Those are great.
Wow.
I don't, you can only win. You can't win or lose. I was sort of thinking the other day about like, I don't remember what it was, but I made a joke. I did some, like,
Mhm.
cultural poll and then
Phew.
realized later that I didn't even realize I was, like, referencing something. It had just become part of the cultural zeitgeist, whatever
Right.
thing I said. I was like, "Oh, I didn't even know that was from, like, that Will Ferrell movie that I've never seen. I've just heard so many people say it that I know that's a poll you can do, and it'll be funny if I say it in this voice at this moment." That
Right.
works well enough. And I started wondering about all the things that everyone knows and everyone has seen, except they haven't.
Mhm.
And everyone has all of these blind spots that are always kind of interesting to me.
Right. Yeah. Imagine like how different life would be if we didn't have access to any of these kind of like common culture points.
For sure. And more so, it's so much easier with streaming technology. But back in the
Mhm.
day, like, this was part of what drove consumption to a degree. But, there was a fear of, "Oh, everyone's seeing this movie. I need to go see this movie this weekend because that's all everyone's gonna be talking about, and I'm not gonna
Mhm.
understand any of the jokes, and I'm not or any of the references
Right.
or any of the things."
Right.
Um, of That's a big list. I'm I'm never gonna insist that you walk on the beach. You don't have to listen to Stairway. Throne of Glass, I mean, that's a big
It's a
commitment.
bit
I I'm
yeah.
gonna suggest that you watch Braveheart. It's really good. It's stunning photography and amazing music. And I know we don't like Mel Gibson anymore, but god damn, he's a good actor, and he directs that movie. And as a young Scottish man, that, like I watched that movie a lot, and I still get excited. Not all I wanna do is end the podcast and go watch Braveheart.
On the contrary though, the summer after my sophomore year of high school,
Mhm.
um, I watched Kill Bill Volume 2 almost every day.
Huh, that's a lot.
Yeah. It was one of those movies that was, like, on a channel all the time,
Yeah.
and I was like, "I
I
really
had
like this."
to, like, our, like, mini generational divide, I had a roommate my sophomore year of college who loved Pulp Fiction, and we would just put it on basically every night,
Yeah.
and often be, like,
Yeah.
working or doing other things, but Pulp Fiction was just on. So that might
On.
be the movie I've kind of seen the most, just because I was in the room while it was playing a lot of the time, and we could, like, have conversations and bring friends over and do other things, but,
Right.
yeah, that's whatever, you know, 4 Tarantino movies earlier, which kind of lines up.
Right. The movie that I've seen the most, however, is Wall-E because
Really?
I mentioned once to Walter that I
I was
liked
gonna
it,
say, yeah, yeah.
and now, like, basically anytime he wants to do something nice, he'll come up and be like, "Mommy, do you think we should maybe, like, make some popcorn and watch your favorite movie, Wall-E?" Like, I don't have the heart to tell him at this point,
You're
it's not
over
my
it.
favorite.
Yeah.
I just like it more than Paw Patrol.
Given the choice, I mean, if you're gonna be
Mhm.
forced to get through 90 minutes of something, it's pretty good.
Yeah, Wall-E's pretty good, but we watch it enough that, he often will ask me to, dance during Eve and Wally's dance, and so I'm imagining if someday he decides to get married and there is a mother-son dance, it's probably, gonna be to one of the major songs in that.
That's an incredibly adorable idea.
Mhm, mhm. It's my favorite movie, Wally.
Yeah. And you should roast him right before the dance and be like, "This
Right.
motherfucker made me watch this movie dozens of times."
1,000 times. Yeah,
Yes. Great.
great, great. Yeah, this was good. Good
Yeah,
job.
I agree. Well done.
Team, this has been Training Partners. I'm Weezy Shoemaker. That's Justin McClintock. We'll see you next time.
Later, gang.